Here we go again. Why do you always smile? And the sun's in my eyes.
You good point.
It's literally in my eye.
So what do you want to do? You want to switch spots?
No, it's okay.
Do you want to scoot over a little bit? Would that help?
No. Oh, right here. Can you see me if I'm behind this thing, though?
No.
That's the only place where the sun's not in my eye.
So what do you want to do?
I don't know.
You want to scoot back some?
Yeah.
You want to scoot back some more?
No, this is fine.
Can you pour some wine?
Why are you so smiley?
I need some wine.
Do you have a bad day? Oh, you're testing.
All right, so today's podcast, gotta pick up the mic. Today's podcast
That's a hit.
is centered around what we're calling the 1% rule. So essentially, what that means is,
That's
what
how
are-
much you're supposed to have.
yeah, what are the small things that you can do to basically make 1% of your relationship better, or an improvement of 1%. So a lot of times that looks like systems or having routines. And this is bad.
I'm sorry. No, I just thought about how we have a twist top wine.
Okay.
That's embarrassing.
What's wrong with twist top wine?
I don't know. I feel like that's not
I mean, it's not like
standard.
it's not the standard, but I mean, it works, right?
I'm sorry I interrupted you, but that's all I could think about is how I just twisted it open.
Okay, so we always start off the podcast very bad. Like, we got to get better, and we
I feel
also
like that's what makes success.
start off with like there's always some drama before we have a podcast. So far, in our first two, there's been like some sort of thing we're going through either prior the week or before. So I feel like, they're gonna start thinking stuff.
They're going to start thinking stuff.
Well, I mean, we always have something going on. It's like,
Oh, well, we didn't have to tell them that, so they didn't have to
well, I
think
felt
anything.
like part of the conversation is going to be kind of us actually working out real life, like basically what happened this morning. We got to find a solution.
No, the only person that's in a bad mood now is you.
Yeah,
You just flipped the switch on camera.
I'm being honest.
This,
I think you
Like you
could.
were sitting up?
I think you can probably see it right now
and
that
then
I feel
as soon
some
as you
type of.
walked over here, you're smiling. Okay, I can't. Can we just have a bite of pizza? First?
Yes. All right. Let's start with the pizza. Part of the reason why I'm a little upset is because you were supposed to get the pizza.
Oh, so you thought I was gonna leave the house at 3-something to go get pizza?
Yeah, I thought that was the plan. That's what I said,
I'm not gonna be able to eat and talk.
so that we could record in time. This is very good.
I just rolled. And somebody's gonna drop something on this rug.
And then you got pepperoni pizza. I thought you was gonna get something cool. I was thinking 2 pizzas. One, you surprised me with like a cool pizza, and then like just a pizza. Because this is a pretty small
Next
pizza.
time, you get it.
And I don't care if we overspent on our dining budget and we're gonna be broke. Like, I just wanted.
Okay, you're being over dramatic. You're being over dramatic.
How's that over dramatic? How's that over dramatic?
I have to finish the slides first. You keep talking.
We're gonna have pizza in our teeth.
No, this is a bad idea because I just want to like eat.
Okay, so I swear this is still terrible to start. It's so slow. All right, we gotta get to the point. So the 1% rule.
No, the point is you're grumpy right now. Even though I'm the one that was mad this morning, you're mad now. You just dropped a crumb on the floor.
Yeah, man.
This is why they don't eat on The Bachelor. And it's just presentation.
Because you can't do both.
No.
Why am I still holding this microphone?
We're gonna have to just like cut out some of the eating.
Or somebody talks while the other person's eating them.
Because then we can't interrupt. Go for it. Go ahead and start talking.
All right, so the 1% rule is a rule that I don't know if it exists. I would like to think that we're making it up and it's new. But it stems from, I don't know if you know this, but I read a book called...
Yeah, you told me.
What?
I don't know what it's called.
It's called The Zen and Art of Motorcycle Maintenance.
You told me you got it. Something like this from the book.
Yeah, and so basically, I'm going to just give it to the viewers real quick that the book is essentially about how we can view life, and there's like two types of people. There, like if you're a motorcycle owner, there's the people that will buy the nice motorcycle and basically they drive it until it breaks down and then they take it to the mechanic. Mm-hmm. So the premise of the author in the book is basically writing from the perspective that you need to learn the bike, like you need to learn the motorcycle, and you do daily maintenance on it.
I know where this is going.
Yeah, and so if you do daily maintenance on it, one, you understand the workings of the bike, you learn about the bike, you know all the ins and outs, and then two, you don't ever have that big problem. And you understand why something might go wrong, you understand how to fix it. And most of the time by keeping maintenance, you don't have the big issues. But if you think about like our generation, we'll buy a car, don't know nothing about it, and we'll just basically ignore the signs. And then the big problem happens. And a lot of times, if you're someone that's well off, you might not even you might say, oh, it's time for me to get a new car, or oh, it's time for me to get a new thing. So you're never really paying attention. And so.
Great analogy.
That was really quick, right? I'm trying not to talk too long on it, but essentially, in the relationship, it's like, hey, what are the 1% things that we can pay attention to or set systems for that help us? And I saw in your notes you had a lot of stuff.
I was about to say that. I didn't give you my questions.
But there's a lot of household stuff. And I think household matters, but it's not just the household.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about your interpretation of the rule real quick?
No.
Okay, is there something you would like to... I've been holding the mic the whole time. Is there something you would like to say?
No, I feel like we should get started with what we're trying to talk about. Like, are we just going from this conversation? Like, from what you just said? I feel like you didn't really tie it into, like, why we're talking about it now. Like, I get the analogy, but...
I think we're talking about it now because I could see how letting little things slide build up, and then you have big mechanic problems. Like you have big issues that are costly. And in a relationship, it's like those issues can make or break you, and it's the things that you don't even pay attention to. So it's like you think they don't matter, but they actually matter, and they make your life more enjoyable. So like, for example, I'll just start with one is like you greeting me when I get home. Like when you actually get up and you greet me, makes me really happy. When you give me a morning hug, like the morning hug literally is 1%. It's like it literally takes 2 seconds. And if you give me a morning hug, it literally makes my day. Like I have lived. If you give me a hug in the morning, I have lived. It's really like a puppy or a dog. Like my endorphins, I feel good. And so like, those are like 1% things that like can affect, and they set the tone. If you think about it, when I wake up, you give me a hug, it's like I'm in a good mood to start the morning. When I get home, if you get up and you come give me a hug, then I'm in a good mood starting the rest of the day at home. So for just to start it off, that's an example of like a 1% thing.
So basically, what I'm also getting from this is knowing each other's love languages, because I could list the things that are 1% for me, and they're not anything that has to do, like yours is physical, like one of your love languages is physical touch. Mm-hmm. So hugging you in the morning, greeting you when you get home, that's all physical touch.
Well, the greet is not necessarily physical touch.
Kind of, because
It's more,
you want to be like, hi?
well, no, it's just more of just acknowledgement and like,
But yeah, you want
It's
me
like-
to
it's
get,
like
you want me
positive
to
vibes.
get up and come say hi. It can't just be like a hi from
yeah,
the couch.
instead
So-
of me coming over to bend over and give you a kiss,
So it's
there's no,
still physical touch, because I'm not just going to go, hi.
it's not, you're missing the point. That part.
It's the action.
The morning hug is physical touch. When I come home, it's the act of being like welcomed. It's
Okay,
not.
so I'm gonna remember that. When you
I
come
mean, I
home,
still would
I'm gonna
like-
get up and stand in the hallway and go, hello, and go sit down.
Obviously, that's not the case.
Exactly.
It's the when
I get it. I get what you're saying, but it's still partially part of physical touch, because you
Okay.
still want me to hug you
It's
and
half
give
and
you a
half.
kiss,
It's happened now.
whatever. So for me, it's take out the trash, but not just take out the trash, put a new trash bag in the trash bin. Because when you don't put a trash bag in the trash bin, even if you took out the trash, it still annoys the hell out of me. For instance, this morning,
That's a 1%.
that's 1%. And again,
I did
it's,
put a trash bag in there.
yeah, after you dropped egg shells in the trash can on accident, and you were like, oh shit, I gotta put a trash bag in there.
And I did.
But what's crazy is I was waiting for you to put a trash bag in there, because I had my coffee grounds still in my portafilter, and I was about to knock them out, and I was like, I'm not gonna say anything.
But I did.
I'm not gonna say anything.
And I cleaned it.
But I was 2 seconds away from saying something, because I needed to throw them away at the point that you dropped the eggs in the trash can.
And I wasn't awake all the way yet, but I did it all because I'm aware that you like the trash. I know that now. That's a 1% thing.
Okay, so that's just one of my things. So it's acts of service, quality time, quality and quantity time.
Well, that's what your love language is.
I know, but that's like still, those are when I'm looking for the 1%, it's normally aligns with those things.
So let's,
For me.
I think in order to make this rule really being able to, for people to apply it, I think let's really talk about just like, I think we should really talk about like keeping 1% improvements as like small 1% things that, like, so let's be specific. Okay, so like I talked about the morning hug. I talked about greeting when we get home. You just talked about like putting the trash bag in the trash can right away. So I think what could easily happen is you start to stack like 21% things, and then it becomes a 20% thing, right? Mm-hmm. So I feel like maybe in the relationship, there's certain moments when there's just one thing in particular that's like a 1% effort that could make a big difference, right?
Let's just be thinking of that one thing.
Yeah, so like, cause it's easy to like pile on 50 things that someone's not doing for both sides. So, I mean, let's just like this more like, all right, so right now, this might be a little bit more than 1%, but right now, obviously, like our schedules and our trying to build this platform or YouTube and like share what we're sharing has been difficult for us to understand or find a rhythm. So like just this morning we had a like argument, or we had like we're not happy at
Was it an argument? Are you calling it an argument or not an argument?
I wasn't really arguing.
I was arguing.
I think you were upset.
I was waiting for you to say, are you about to start your period?
I wasn't gonna bring that up, But
Yeah, I was supposed to start today.
yeah, I can tell by your energy it's been kind of rough.
Okay.
But I've been trying to support you. I wasn't gonna bring it up
Were you not? That would be
swear.
the first time in I don't know how long.
because
You would have brought it up 2 weeks ago.
again, I'm not trying, again, what did we talk about last podcast? We're a team. I'm trying to really be a team. I'm not trying to win it on camera. I'm trying to I want us both to benefit.
So we're thinking of 1% things. We're just thinking of our own 1% things.
Yeah, I think right now.
Based off of this, are we talking about this morning's argument and why there was an argument and how that ties into 1%?
Yeah. So, I'm just going to say one thing and then you can carry it. So I think our 1% thing right now is having a schedule or expectation of what the day-to-day looks like. Because we've moved to a new place. So I'm working out in the mornings now at 5 a.m. And
Which is great.
And I'm still working till 6 most days. You are doing your personal training and
We
you
have
have
to really hash this out.
we need to hash it out because I think that 1% is also if you have, it could be having systems in place for different things that you do. And in our case right now, we're not aligning with our schedules and needs aren't being met. So if we could set a routine that will improve our relationship. Right? So what's...
Can I elaborate on what I said this morning?
Go ahead.
For the women.
For the women.
For the women. I said, you will not comprehend what I'm trying to tell you because you kept trying to argue back with me and say, I'm doing so much. You don't know all that I'm doing. You did, quote, you did say, I don't think you understand all that I'm doing. Right?
I guess.
Okay.
I just hate when you do this voice. You always have voices.
You
for
did
me.
say you're doing a lot, and I don't understand all that you're doing. And I said, I'm basically a woman. I don't even have kids yet. Can you imagine when I have kids? What?
I need to turn the AC off real quick. Sorry, y'all.
You can actually hear that?
Yes, you can see it on the thing.
Okay.
Go ahead, talk to the camera.
No, I'm gonna eat a slice of pizza. Pizza's very good. This is Brooklyn style pizza in downtown Dallas called Fonz. And I only know about it because one of my friends told me about it.
Oh my gosh.
And it's phenomenal. I was talking about the pizza.
Is the pizza good? All right, so continue.
I don't know where I was at. I have to finish this.
Talking about being a woman, having a kid.
I don't even have kids yet. So I can't even imagine all that these women do with kids. But women are able to multitask and prioritize things.
So what's the complaint? Tell them what you're saying that I don't do.
You are not able to manage your time correctly and prioritize things in a way that gets them done efficiently. So you might be doing things, but when you're doing them very slowly, moving like a turtle. The snail. Remember the snail meme that I sent you? Mm-hmm. Like that. Or you're doing stuff that doesn't need to be done right now. So it's like yesterday, did I have food on my mouth? Yesterday you set up these damn speakers. Even though I've been asking for the speakers for a year, you set up these speakers like I'm gonna be using the speakers today. Instead of editing stuff during the time that I was gone. So you choose to do stuff like when I'm home, even though I work in the evening sometimes. So instead of doing the things that you could be doing that are priority while I'm gone. You choose to do them when I'm here because you chose to do other things that weren't even a priority. So great that you're doing 9 million things, and you did this thing for me because I've been wanting the speakers done, but that was not something that I needed to be done today. So, not prioritizing and moving slowly when you do things. Or not doing, this is prioritizing, I guess, not doing things until like 3 weeks later, like cleaning the bathroom. Bathroom is a 1% thing. It's like, I only ask, that's the only thing you have to clean, is the bathroom. And really, you only have to clean one of them right now, because we don't clean the other one until like people come over. Are you letting me talk? I feel like you want to say something. I will ask you to clean the bathroom. I'm like, can you clean the bathroom this weekend? So I'm mentally preparing you. This weekend rolls around, it's now Sunday. Are you going to clean the bathroom? Oh, I'll clean it next weekend. Weekend comes around. Doesn't clean the bathroom again. Weekend comes around again, and it's Sunday night at 8 o'clock. When it's time to start winding down and spend time with each other, you start folding clothes, washing them, cleaning the bathroom. It's like, what the hell were you doing all day? So that's my rant.
Why are you laughing so much?
Because it's funny. I'm actually right in this argument. Like, that was a good example of, like, literally 3 weeks down the line, you're doing what I asked you to do, and then you do it at the last minute still.
It says, we're not trying to be right.
Yeah, I need you to understand.
Okay.
So you can fix this 1%.
Okay. So you said that I don't know how to prioritize because it was specifically about, you're asking, hey, did you do the reels for the podcast? And we got...
I was just giving a hypothetical example. I wasn't trying to give the actual example.
No, but that's why you were upset this morning. That's what triggered everything.
Okay.
And the part where I was saying where I don't feel like you see everything I'm doing is because yesterday I spent about 4 hours doing all of the timestamps and stuff on top of working a full work day, on top of doing like the after school program, working out in the morning. So like when we came home, we had dinner together. And when you went to go work, I just burped.
Nice.
Sorry.
3 times actually. 4.
Excuse me. That's not it. I apologize. So when you went to go work at 7, you're right. I did do the speakers, but in my guy brain, okay, I was like, well, she doesn't want the speakers on the counter. She doesn't want me just to throw them in the room where all this stuff is. I was
Why
like,
not?
you've been asking for them for a long time. So I was slow to get them finally. I finally got them. You've been asking for them for a long time. Why don't I set this up? And so I set it up, and I think I read my book. And
Even better. I love that you added that in because I didn't know that.
but so here's the thing. I literally already put in like, how's that?
Oh, you put in 4 hours
8,
earlier in the day. So you were clocked out.
8. I already put in so much work.
Got it.
And I've been like, you don't necessarily, and so this is what we're trying to solve by the end of the podcast. You don't necessarily want to come home after, like when I get home at 6, you don't want like us to just go straight into work again. You want to have our quality time, right? But like us doing this, like this platform is another job basically. So what I was trying to say this morning is like, when do we have time to do the things that we need to do? So I feel like the solution is for us to come up with the schedule where we create time blocks and we work on the things together. Because a part of me was also feeling some type of way this morning because I was like, I feel like I'm doing a little bit more lifting right now.
Oh, we're back to that.
But I don't think it's going to stay like that permanently. But this last week, I feel like I'm doing more lifting than you for this thing that we're trying to build. Not saying that you're not contributing. I'm just saying in this moment right now, I feel like I'm lifting so for you to get upset at me makes me feel some type of way.
I don't really have anything to say to that. Besides, I also told you this morning that most times when you have the computer, you literally said at the beginning, before we even started all of this, you're like, how are we both gonna sit on the computer and edit and da-da-da-da-da? Which is why whenever you have the computer, I don't even touch anything. Just let you do your thing. And you're very picky about quality and what to choose and what looks right and what caption sounds right. So even if I were to come up with something, you would just correct it later on anyways, or we would just do it your way. The artist in you, I swear.
Okay. All right, that's fair.
But you smiled when I said, in the beginning, you said, how are we both gonna do this on the computer editing?
I think there's some things that we have to do together. Like, I want it to be a joint. I'm talking with food in my mouth. This is so.
And you have a come right here.
I want, like, us to be able to pick parts that we want to, like, promote. I want us to go over and timestamp it together. And those are things that I feel like I don't want it to be like one person. I want it to be an equal balance. Like, it's us literally becoming one thing.
Well, just like we did the whole, like, what are we posting when? We need to do that with, like, who's posting what.
I think it's just like we need to just set, like, right now we don't have, and to relate this to people, it's like, I feel like right now this is the first time where our work schedules don't match up. So we have to figure out, like, hey, it's not like we just get home and we just chill. Like, we don't have that luxury if we're going to try to build something. So I feel like we have to block out time. We can do things individually, but we need to do things together if we want to make it successful. And I think that will help eliminate a lot of the drama. You
So
agree?
basically, as a woman, I need to come up with a schedule for you.
For us.
For us.
Yes.
Well, it's really for you, because I already have a system. You just, when you get home from work, you have to do certain things. Like, I don't have to do, the only thing I'm trying to do is sit on the couch, watch TV, and chat about it. You were the one that's like, I have to read. I have to be in bed by 9. I have to be asleep. The lights have to go off at 9:30. I have to be asleep by 10.
Oh, really? You're gonna go there? Okay, no, wait. All right, so let's start there. I'm sorry. That was like a 1% thing. So when we first moved here, I was trying to work out in the morning. Like, in order for me to, like, get up out of bed, I had to wake up at 4:40 to get there on time and, like, be ready. But, like, that doesn't mean I can just stay up all night. So, like, we were having conflict because I was upset because you get to wake up whenever you want to wake up, and you were just staying up, TV on, like, all this stuff.
Jesus.
And I was not getting the amount of rest that I need to be able to, like, move throughout the day and work all day. So, like, that's something that we had to come to agreement on. I was like, hey, like, at 9:30, lights off, you can have the TV on. 10 o'clock, TV off. And that was something that eliminated a lot of problems. So we made, like, a nighttime routine, and then we made a morning routine, because in the morning, I got the mic, I was also, like, coming back from my workout at 5, and it was like, 6 o'clock, and I'm banging doors. So that's a 1%.
Kicking floors, banging doors, dropping leashes, can't get the key. I heard you this morning. I'm like, what the hell?
But that's also why I couldn't work out at 4 a.m. Or my plan was to originally work out at 4 a.m., but that wouldn't even be good because then I'm making that noise at 5.
Well,
so
the gym's not open at 4.
But that was the plan initially. But since it's 6, we worked it out to, like, hey, if you actually match your bedtime schedule to mine and you go to sleep around 10, you'll be okay waking up at 6. So again, it was about alignment, and that's what we're trying to find now is an alignment. So I don't think they want to see us necessarily, you come up with the schedule for me. So that's going to be your homework, is like, hey, come up with the schedule so we can push this drama behind us and we can have an understanding of what the week will look like in order for us to achieve the things we want to achieve with this.
But okay, side note, it's also give and take, because there is some times where you don't go to bed at 10 because there's drama, because you didn't spend quality time with me before 10. So if you were to spend quality time before 10, then you could go to bed by 10. If you didn't spend quality time with me before 10, you're probably going to bed at 11 because I'm irritated.
So that's the schedule thing we need to work out.
That's what I'm saying, but it's also like give and take. So you can only get what you get if I get what I get.
So in this
And vice versa.
transition, we found the 1% for the morning. We found the 1% for night. Now we had to figure out, what does when I get home look like? Okay? And how are we going to still make the things we need to make to build this? Is that fair?
Yeah.
So that's your homework, is to think about that?
The schedule?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was already thinking about it today.
Okay.
I don't have an idea, right? Like in my brain, like to get like a full schedule, I was thinking about like, I just need to come up with a schedule because he can't do it.
Okay.
Clearly.
But I think to tie this to kind of like, again, just thinking about people watching this, it's like, I think this is something that gets overlooked. It's like, we were fortunate enough that when we were both teachers, we had the same schedule like through and through. Like vacation, like everything. So we didn't have to think about anything. But I feel like the norm...
It was still 1% rules though.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about like, I feel like translating like scheduling. I think this is a topic. It's like, in a relationship, most relationships, they probably don't match. Like some people might work morning, like the schedules don't necessarily match. And I feel like that's something that you may not actually really pay attention to or realize that that's causing problems. So it's like...
Or you realize that some people just don't care.
So
They're like, I want to get what I want. I don't care. Like, I need this.
Yeah, like working
willing
late
to
all the
budge.
time.
So it's also compromise.
Okay, so the 1% is essentially saying, recognizing that it's like you got a leak in your car or like you need your oil. It's like recognizing when you have a sign pop up and fixing it while it's a small problem. So having the schedule figured out opens up you to just kind of both have the same understanding and to be able to like not get upset over the little things. How's that sound? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Do we have questions to go with this?
Do
We
you?
don't really have any questions.
Do you want to what were some of your questions?
Well, that was more towards again the household chores, but that's all, I feel like that's a big deal for people in general.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, every time we do a podcast, I feel like we're doing terrible. I'm just like, why? I said this last time. I need to stop. I need to speak more positive, more light into this.
Yeah. What are some of the systems or rules that have really worked for you as a couple? What's worked for us as a couple? I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to read. Broadcast journalist. What has worked for us as a couple?
What?
What are some of the rules that we have that work for us as a couple?
Some of the rules?
I'll answer. Because they're probably tired of hearing you talk anyways. A big thing was always like cleaning in general, just like who does what task. So like I hate cleaning bathrooms because I have a phobia of bathrooms. So you clean the bathrooms when you can. And then I clean the rest of the house. Or whoever cooks doesn't do the dishes. One thing we're still trying to figure out is if someone cooks, the other person does the dishes, who takes the dishes out of the dishwasher? That's an ongoing debate that we have not figured out.
That's a 1%. We need to solve it.
That's literally been happening for since we moved to Dallas. I feel like that's been an argument. We haven't fixed it.
If you cook, you should not have to unload the dishes.
Another thing is who cleans the counters,
You know what?
because that'll switch.
I'm gonna go ahead and say it.
That literally switches.
I'm gonna go ahead and say it.
You're yelling.
All day, cause I feel.
I'm not at home all
You're at
day.
home all day. You unload the dishwasher. At some point, that sounds bad. At some point in the day, you have 5 minutes.
That's very aggressive.
You have 5 minutes to unload the dishwasher.
I have been unloading the dishwasher. There's like once in a blue moon when I don't unload it, and you could just be kind and unload it. Obviously not. Okay, whatever. We'll move on to that later.
So did we solve that?
That I'm just gonna do it?
Yeah. Yeah, home all day.
No, what if I don't get to it? Because sometimes I actually do have like no time.
Well, what if the expectation is that you unload it all the time, and some occasions when you don't and you need a break, I'll do it.
That's on camera. That's on camera. So, because again, this has been an ongoing argument because we came up with a solution, and I feel like we're like, no, we didn't say that. We said this. So that's on camera. So you heard that you said, if I don't do it, you have to do it.
The occasion. The occasion.
Yeah, I'm just saying sometimes I try and do it because it's part of like my morning thing, like afternoon thing. I'm like, oh, I need to unload the dishwasher. So when I load the dishwasher, I don't have to do both.
I think, like earlier or last week, I communicated like, hey, like I've literally been today was a rough day. Can you just do the dishes one time? Because I ended up cooking. So it's like I worked, stayed after school, another 2 hours, came home, cooked. And I had to end up doing the dishes, and the counters weren't even that dirty. I was like, hey, can you just do the dishes this one time? And
you cooked and you did, I'm confused. Like take the dishes out?
Or something like that. And I was basically saying like, my cup is empty. My cup is empty. You have more of your cup filled right now. Can you just help me out sometimes? And you're like, yes. So in this case, and that made me feel really good. In this case, I feel like you could do the same. Like, hey, Bryce, I was swamped today. I didn't have time to unload the dishwashers. Could you do it? And I'd be like, okay.
I don't know. It depends on the day.
I feel like you just got to communicate.
Okay. Well, that's our system for the cleaning. Do we have other systems? Oh, taking out the dogs. Like morning, night.
Go ahead.
What?
Well, because
Was I not supposed to talk about the
I
dogs?
take them out in the morning and I take them out at night. I got the worst, but
Yeah, but
it's because I'm the man. And you can't be outside getting.
Your eyes got so big for that, and I was like, okay, am I saying
Because
something
that's
wrong?
just like
Okay, I literally take them out just as much times.
Being
and
a
I take
guy.
them for a walk. You don't even have to worry about walks.
Yeah, that's true.
But
being
that's
a guy.
also enjoyable. So.
Yeah, those are the worst times. Being a guy, you just gotta suck it up and do what's right. And what's right is not putting yourself in a dangerous situation.
Okay, so explain to me how it would even work if you didn't take them out at morning and night. I would be just taking them out all day long. In the dark at 6 a.m.
All right,
and
you're right.
at night at 8 p.m.
I'm wrong. You're right.
That doesn't even make sense. Taking the dogs out, we figured out a schedule for that. I don't know, what else do we have a schedule for? Basically, we have to figure out, we do our own laundry. That's the thing. We don't really fold. And
Basically, you don't want to.
you just got to figure out it's like what you don't like to do, kind of what you don't want to do. Because sometimes that's like what the other person doesn't mind doing.
Yeah.
So you have to figure out what works for you as a couple.
Basically, I guess the 1% thing is things you can overlook.
You don't get any more pizza.
Okay.
You literally, I had 2 slices. What?
Clay.
And the corner pieces. We're getting another pizza.
I told you to
We're
get 2
getting another
pizzas
pizza.
for that
well,
reason.
now we're driving to go get another pizza because that just annoyed me.
Was that your bite?
You're just over there eating. There was like 14 pieces. I had 2. There's 3 left. 5.
Do you think
And the corners, so they're this big.
I'm interested to know, like, in the comments, if you're still watching, could you let us know if having systems is like something that you do in your relationship? Because I'm wondering, like, because you're a teacher, I'm a teacher, and you were a teacher, like, systems free up a lot of time and space. Like, it just makes things flow. So it's like a system might sound like, oh, that's too many rules, blah, blah, blah. Like why do you need to have a routine? Like it seems like it's like taking away freedom, but it streamlines, it just makes everything understood so you get more freedom. So I feel like that's what we're saying is like 1% is like, don't just let things just be up in the air. Like, talk about it, find something or agreement for it, a system for it. And that one little thing that you change will eliminate a lot of other problems that might be happening, or the tension.
I don't know. Some people might not. They might operate better without systems.
Well, I guess that's the question I'm asking.
It just depends on the couple. Like, some people might be like more. They both like to have more free will, and they just are okay with what they like, how their relationship.
I guess that's the question. So, like, in the comments, let us know. Mm-hmm. Let us know. Okay.
One more question.
How long have we been talking? This will be a shorter one.
We should asterisk them. Have your personal experiences changed how you view traditional gender roles in the home? That's a good question, especially for you.
Gender roles in the home?
Yeah, because you really just grew up with your mom. And so you basically, I don't know, I feel like you had to do more than just like
my mom just made us clean.
Yeah, but I don't feel
so
like
not clean.
That's really big. Like, boys don't really have to do that.
The way I see it,
like yard work and things.
Oh, but I used to do that too when we had a house.
No, but I'm saying you had to do like all of it. You
like clean bathrooms and do that.
And I don't feel like in a dual parent household that's always the case if there's a boy.
Yeah, that's probably true.
That's what I'm asking.
I think I could just relate that question, like gender roles in the household, to like just us both working, and like just not my upbringing, but more of just our relationship specifically, is we both kind of contribute 50-50.
So we do 50-50.
So. Like, yeah, like what we do in the house also should be 50-50. Like now here's the thing though, like since you switched, a part of me feels some type of way because I feel like you get a lot more time and I'm working more now than I have in the past in a way. So like, sometimes I'm like, and I think that's the conversation we had last week and you responded well to it, was like, hey, I know we've been doing it this way for so long, like straight down the middle. I was like, hey, some days, and I wasn't saying all the time, but some days I might ask you to do a little bit more. And you were like, okay, because you have more to give. Mm-hmm. So I appreciate you being understanding. What do you want to say?
I don't want to say anything. I'm just listening.
So I feel like that basically is based on case by case, like who has a little bit more in their cup at that time. So like, for example, when we have a kid.
He goes on and on and on and on.
When we have a kid, I'm probably going to pick up a lot more around the house.
I'm not doing nothing.
Yeah. So I'm not trying to go on and on.
I thought you were going to give
another piece of
pizza. No, you're
pizza.
not. We're actually going to get another pizza because this is literally the only slice. These are not slices of pizza.
Okay.
I know. I think we're good. I think we're ready to close out. I think you gave like the closing too of just like.
So how would you? I feel like I summarized it. I wonder if they can hear honey.
Probably. It's time for her to eat.
What
That's
do
fine.
you like? What do you think the 1% rule is? Like, how do you understand it? Like, what's your?
I think the 1% rule is good if you're people who are more, or if you have someone in the relationship that's more like structured. But if you don't have someone who's structured in the relationship, then it's kind of just, again, it's like free will. So I think the 1% rule only applies if there's at least one person in the relationship that needs that structure and has expectations of things. Because not everybody has expectations.
You know what? I don't want to argue. Think about teaching a classroom. Every class needs structure.
Oh, I guess that's right.
Every class needs structure. Now, why are you laughing at me?
Why are you looking like that? That air conditioning.
Because that's a bar.
It's hot.
That's a bar. Every class needs structure. So now, what kind of rules you set?
Are dependent upon you.
But you need structure. You need some sense of structure to make. So I think that's the misconception people have about structure. It's like, oh,
I'm telling you what to do.
Yeah, and if I have structure, I don't have freedom. But like, you can't have too much structure, and you don't want that. But you gotta have structure to open up the freedom. It's like, hey, this is the bare minimum. This is what we can get done, and it'll free up more time because you're not. It eliminates a lot of arguments if everyone knows kind of what they're doing. And I think that's more talking about systems. So like, systems can help improve the relationship, but the 1% can also just be small things. And I guess that's a question I thought about earlier, is like, what's a 1% gesture that I could do that maybe I haven't been doing lately, or I stopped doing, or something new? Like, what's this 1% gesture I could do?
Oh, the last few days, you haven't been waking me up at 6 a.m.
There.
I've actually been bothered by that.
That's a 1%. That's a perfect example. So it's not necessarily a system.
Okay.
It's like,
Okay.
Get your hand off me.
You're very excited.
Get your hand off me. That's a perfect example.
You stopped waking me up.
I think that's...
I have the mic.
All right.
I asked you to wake me up at 6 a.m. because I don't like the sound of the alarm and I want to wake up peacefully. So you're supposed to gently tap me and wake me up at 6 a.m. And it eventually became 6:17, 6:32. Then you just stopped, and I just started setting my own alarms, and I wasn't gonna ask you again because I only like to ask for things once. And then last night, all of a sudden, are you waking up at 6 a.m.? Am I waking up? I'm like, you haven't been. So.
All right, so
that's one thing that you can do for me still, but I need to be woken up at 6 o'clock. 6:05 the latest.
I don't
because
understand.
After that, I'm just sleeping.
I don't understand what it looks like though. Like, is it just a tap? Is it like a lay in the bed, kiss you?
It's what you were doing. You literally just like sat on top of me, rubbed me. At 6 o'clock, wake up.
That's
it.
Okay. You want to kiss?
No.
No kiss?
No.
What about like a little like neck kiss, like behind
Clearly
the ear?
you do. So
I like doing
whatever you need to do to fulfill your needs.
A part of me likes doing that in the morning because you're like a little baby. You're like a little sweet. And that's when you're an angel, because you're like, you have no emotion.
Okay.
So it's like pure.
Okay, what's one thing that I can do?
Go back to getting up and greeting me. Even though there's this super long hallway, maybe wait till I get halfway to the hallway to get up and greet me.
Well, I don't know what that looks like because you also just...
And morning hugs. I don't want to initiate the morning hug.
Well, if you wake me up at 6 a.m., maybe you'll get a morning hug.
I did this whole podcast just so I can get those things done. But that morning waking you up is a perfect example of the 1%. Like, that's a small effort thing, and I think we kind of sidetracked. So at the end of the day, systems are good, but that's like a separate thing, I guess. That's bigger than 1%. So we kind of didn't understand it fully.
So I don't know. How many systems is 1%? Because if you just were to stop doing the dishes or like
it would build up.
doing something, it would build up, and I would be irritated more.
Okay, so I guess our challenge for our friends and people watching is like, what you ended with is like, what's one gesture, like one small gesture you could do that can improve the love that you have for that person? And it's like a small thing that could go unnoticed, but it actually makes the person feel loved or validated. So yeah, we work through it
and paying attention to the things that annoy your partner, because those are initiator, like ideas of what they need as their 1%. So paying attention to when your light comes on in your car, whatever your analogy was.
your oil light or your engine light.
So basically paying attention, listening for the signs.
Maintenance.
Okay, we're doing too much now. Now we're just listing things.
All right. You end the podcast this time.
Okay, well, no, it's just a cheers and being mindful of your partner's needs and wants.
You don't have to look like that. It's so...
Okay, do it again.
All right, that's so...
Okay, cheers.
Cringe. Just cheers. All right, I don't like... We can't do that.
Okay, just cheers. I'm serious now.
All right, good job.